Hi, everyone. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, good. So I hope everybody was able to get the homework assignment done and add the ability to walk around. If you didn't get it done, that's okay. We are going to continue on, though, as if you did. But if you didn't, just go ahead and keep watching today. And then I will make another video this afternoon to catch everybody up for what we're covering today as well. So it's fine if you weren't able to get all the way back up to where we are right now. I still want you to watch and see what we're doing today so you can get all the information that we're going to cover. And again, I will make another video this afternoon to cover everything we're doing today in this class as well, just so that way, for whatever reason, if you want to, you'll have a video of the whole thing from start to finish that you can watch and see exactly what's going on. So everybody's parents should have gotten an email with what we were doing. And I see lots of people answering that yes, they did. That's fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to start off here, and as if we just loaded up Pico 8, which I know many of you probably did. And if you want to get back into your game, you just type in load coin race, or whatever you named it. I named mine coin race. So I hit load coin race and hit enter. And there you go. You can see it loaded it. And then if I hit escape, it goes right into the code editor where we left off. And that's how you get back into it. So it's pretty easy. So again, I'm going to do this again just so you can see it. I'm going to reboot and I'm going to show you again. So type load, then the name of the game and hit enter. And then when you hit it, and then it says loaded, and then you hit escape and it goes into the code editor. So here we go. We're ready to get started. Awesome. That's good, Milo. He said he made it move. So I'm going to run it right now. I'm going to hit Control R or Command R for you people on a Mac. And this is where we are now. We can move around. We hit walls. We can't walk through the walls. We can hit the outside edges. We can't walk through the outside edges. And we have a map and everything is awesome. But as you can tell, this is not a super fun game because there's not really anything to do. We can't get past the first level. So what we need to do first, we're going to do two steps today. One, we're going to add a coin into the level that we have to race toward and get to so that we can move on to the next level. And so our first job is to make a coin that shows up in a random spot on our level. So if you hit escape, it goes back into the code editor. So remember, if you're running and you hit escape, you'll see the little blinking cursor, then you hit escape again, and you're back into here. So what we need to do is we need to make a new code tab up here at the top, up at the very top. Click a little plus symbol, make a new code tab, and we're going to do -- coin. And this is going to be a tab where we deal with the coin stuff. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a function. And this function will run at the start of the level, but we're going to make a function called make coin. And that will make a coin on our level. So make sure you hit end and then go inside that function. And then we're going to make a variable at the start of this function called noCoin equals true. And that means that there is no coin on our level right now. And that's true. We're going to save true into noCoin. And that's just going to keep track of, did we find a place to put the coin? And if we did, we'll set that to false, because then we'll have a coin. So then we're going to use a thing called a loop. And what a loop does is it keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again until something that you tell it turns true. So, or something that you tell it turns false. So like it works like this. Type along with me, while, and then in parentheses, put no coin, do, and then end. And then what we're going to do is inside this, what this means is that as long as no coin is true, we're going to do all the stuff inside this here. So it says, while this is true, do all this stuff. And then when it gets to the end, it just loops back up to the top and then checks again and says, okay, well, is no coin still true? If it is, do the stuff in here. And then it gets to the end and goes back up to the top. And then let's say no coin starts being false. When it goes, oh, it's false? Well, we're not going to keep going then, and it'll skip past it. So we need to have it, what we need to do here Shanna, if you just got here, load up your game. And the way you do that is when you first start up Pico 8. Okay, so if you didn't do the homework, so I'm going to repeat what I said before just because a couple people have joined now. If you didn't do the homework, that's okay. I understand because a lot of you have a lot of classes you're doing. But we are going to keep going as if you did. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and keep watching today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video just like I did for yesterday. And it'll go through the whole thing that we're covering today so that you can see all the things that we covered. And you'll be able to follow along and still get it done. Okay, so don't worry, but I still want you to watch. And I still want you to watch and see what we're doing. Okay, so if you're just joining now, go ahead and load your coin race game. You type load coin race, hit enter, and then hit escape, and you'll come into this. And then I want you to add a new tab, and we're adding some code to make a coin. So what we need to do in this loop here, this while loop, is we need to look through the whole level and pick a random spot. Here, I'm going to switch to the map editor so I can draw this. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a random spot. Like let's say we'll pick this spot, and then we'll see, hey, is that spot made of grass? And we'll say no. Okay, then loop again and pick another spot. And then it picks a new random spot and says, okay, this spot, is it made of grass? And it'll say, nope, it's not. Okay, pick a new spot. So now it picks here, and then it says, okay, is that made of grass? And it says, yes, it's made of grass. And then what we'll tell the code is, we'll tell the code to, okay, put a coin in that spot. We'll change the map and put a coin there. And then we'll say, okay, now we have a coin. Good, go ahead and keep going. So that's what this code is going to do. So back in the code editor, Owen, what you said yours isn't working. What does that mean? So everyone, 1 second. I just want to make sure we get everybody up and running here. If you, I'm going to let Owen finish typing, but I should mention that this summer, for high school students, we're going to be having a game development camp here at Delphian, and we'll also have a 3D modeling camp here at Delphian, and I'll be running both of those, and it should be a lot of fun. And yeah, we're going to be making some games. We'll make some stuff with a 3D modeling, and we'll even be able to 3D print what we model, which will be really cool, and you get to keep it. And in the game development camp, we're going to be doing all the game development on Raspberry Pi computers, and at the end of the camp, you get to keep the computer that you worked on. I am not sure, Shanna, if you can for that age. So I would just contact the school because I'm totally not sure on what the age ranges are. Owen, if yours doesn't work, I want you to go ahead and just keep watching what we're doing today, and I will try to help you out individually. You can send me an email, and I'll try to walk you through exactly what we need to do to figure it out, okay? Because I want to make sure you can get up and running. Yes, there will be another video game class happening, not next week, but the week after. We're going to do this again. Austin, that will be happening in July, I think. Okay, so let's keep going because I want to make sure we get through all this. So first thing we need to do is we need to pick a random spot on our level. So I'm going to make a variable called coin x, and this will be how far over to make the coin. And now if I type rand16, what that does is that picks a random number between 0 and 16. Now it doesn't go up to 16, or it doesn't go to 16 itself. It just goes up to 16. So it might pick like 15.998, but it will never pick 16. It just goes to like up to 15.99 something, right? So it'll pick some random between 0 and that. And then, but the problem is that map tiles are like whole numbers. Like this is x1, this is x8, this is x15. And see, we have 15 tiles across. So we need it to round it down so that you get a whole number. And no, Shanna, it will be a little bit different. We're going to make a different game in the next class. So we need to round this random number that it picks down. So we use another function around it called floor. And floor just drops the decimal point to the floor of the whole number. So if it's like 15.4, it drops it down to 15. And if it's, 8.67, it drops it down to 8. So that's what this does. It picks a random number between 0 and 16, but never 16. And then it rounds it down to a whole number. Then we're going to do the exact same thing with y. But this time we're going to say to 15, because if you remember, our map has one extra little row here. So we're going to skip that row. We're not going to pick a random spot in there because otherwise we won't be able to reach it. So it'll be 16 and 15. Then we have to look at that spot and see, does that spot have a coin there? And so what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to make a variable called has coin. And then what this is going to do is we're going to say mget. And what mget does is if you give mget an x and a y coordinate, like how far over and how far down, it will look on the map. It will look across the map and find that spot, and it will tell you what sprite is at that map. It'll tell you the number of that sprite. So mget allows us to put in an x and a y coordinate. And in this case, we're going to put coin x. This is where we're going to try to put a coin. And we're going to say, is it equal to 16? Because 16 is our coins or our grass sprite. So we want to see, is this grass or not? So we're going to say, look on the map at this x coordinate, this y coordinate, and tell me if the sprite at that map spot is sprite 16 or not. And if it is, this will store true or false, and it will store it in this variable called hasCoin. Then what we do is we say, if hasCoin, meaning like if hasCoin is true, then we should put a coin in that spot. So we type then, and then don't forget to put this end. It's really important to put end. So if it does have a, oh, sorry, I should not name it hasCoin. I should name it, let's rename it. We're going to name it isGrass. I don't know why I was naming it hasCoin. I was thinking of something else. We're going to name it isGrass. That's a much better name for this because that's actually what we're checking for, is grass. So we're going to look on this spot and see, is that grass? And if it's true, then we're going to do something. If it's grass, then we're going to mset at coin x and coin y. We're going to set this to sprite 18. So what this does, this says change the map at this x and y coordinate to use this sprite instead. So if it was 16, then it will say, okay, change it now and set it to 18. And then we're going to say, no coin? Well, that's false now because we now have a coin on our map. So that means the next time it loops, it's going to go up here and say, oh, no coin is false. We're done with this loop. Otherwise, what it's going to do is going to look and see, pick a random x and y, see if it's grass. If it is grass, make it a coin, and then say, nope, it's false that there's no coins on our map. And then we're done. So now this will make a coin on our map. I'm going to leave this here for a minute so that everybody can type it in because I know it's a lot to type and I don't want to skip too far ahead and go too fast. So I'm going to give you a minute to type this in. And I'm just going to go over again what it does. If you are just busy typing, you can kind of ignore what I'm saying right now. That's great, Elijah. I'm glad to hear you got that done. Good work. One thing that's tough about coding is one little letter out of place will make your code not work. And that can be frustrating. But I just want you to know that that is kind of normal. I've been coding for a lot of years, and I make the dumbest mistakes all the time. I made a mistake. Shauna, you don't have to put all the enters in there if you don't want to. You do have to put all the ends in there. I don't know how to say that more plural. End. Lots of ends. You have to make sure all those are in there. So one time I made a mistake and my code was not working. And I spent half an hour trying to find it. I was searching on Google and I was asking questions and I was looking on this site and that site. The entire time, the problem was I had an uppercase S instead of a lowercase s in one part of my code, and my whole program was broken, and I could not figure out why. So if you ever make mistakes and you feel like, oh my gosh, this is so frustrating, it should be easier. Well, sometimes that's just normal how coding works. Yes, Ryan, the next thing we're going to do now is going to be making a monster. Well, actually, first we're going to make it so when we pick up the coin, it goes to the next level. Then we're going to make the monster. But yeah, we're going to be done with the coin soon. So if you're done writing in the coin code, I want you to raise your hand. Awesome. You guys are doing great. I'm going to wait for a minute or two, make sure we get as many people as possible. So again, if you're done writing the coin code, raise your hand so we can move on to the next thing. And I want to make sure that we, you know what I think I can do? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of this. So yeah, you're right. If you tried to run it, you're one step ahead of me and it's not going to show up on the map. You're absolutely correct. And the reason it won't show up on the map is because we haven't told the game to run this code yet. All we did is we wrote the code and we told it this is how to make a coin. Now we're going to switch over back to code tab 0. Okay. And if you scroll down in the start level function, after we make a player, then we are going to run our make coin function. So every time it starts the level, it's going to make the coin. If it says you have unclosed parentheses, that means that somewhere where you had a starting parentheses, you might have forgotten to put the ending parentheses. So that could happen in lots of places. Like, for example, is grass, you know, if you have a starting parenthesis here, you have to have the ending parenthesis here. And if you have the starting parenthesis for random here, you have to have the ending parenthesis here. But if you have the starting parenthesis for this, you have to have the ending one here. So there's kind of like a double one here. And so you just got to make sure that every time you have a starting one, there's an ending one that matches with it. I'm going to look through my code and make sure that it's not out of place, but I think that's, yeah. A lot of times it'll also tell you what line it'll tell you what line the error is on, and you can go look and see. And that's an easy way to do it. It tells you what line you're on down in the bottom here. So make sure anytime you have an opening parentheses, make sure there's an ending one too. Okay, so again, back in code tab 0, make sure you put make coin after make player. And now let's run it and see. So we'll save it, Control S or Command S, and then Control R and Command R. Look at that, now we have a coin. But nothing happens when we run over it. It's just part of the map. So let's run and hit Command R again, and you can see every time we run it, we get a different location for the coin, which is awesome. That's exactly what we want. I really like the glitch effects it does when you restart it. I always think that looks really cool. It looks like one of the like old arcade games when they switch. It's like, it always looks really, whoa, that was a good one. Look at that. We have, okay, so now so hit escape and then escape again. Making the walls be at a random place would take a little bit longer than we have time for, but it is possible to do. Kind of using the same kind of code that we use for the make coin, but we don't have time to do it now. So right now we need to make it so that when you run over the coin, it picks it up. So switch over to the player, and this is in the move player. When we move the player, this is where we check to see, did they pick up the coin? Okay, and if they pick up the coin, we want to start the level over again. Okay, so Shanna, if it says error tab 2 line 4, that means go to tab 2 and go to line 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever is line 4 for you, and see if there's any error on that line. Austin, when you run it and you say it goes further and further down the screen, is it giving you an error? Also, hold on one second. I'm going to take a screenshot here of this code, and I'm going to put that next to me so that people can see it. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to get a screenshot over here so that I can put it in here. We're going to move it over here, and you can make sure that you have that code in there. Okay, good. There we go. So make sure that your code is exact, okay? Okay. If you don't have all that, make sure that you have that in there. If your coin was sometimes in the wall, you should make sure that you don't have any, if it says tab 0, line 32, that means go to tab 0 and line 22, make sure it says make coin, parenthesis, parenthesis, like this. Make sure you have the parentheses. On your map, make sure you don't have any walls that look like this. Because what happens is it might put a coin in here, and that'd be bad because then the player can never get to it. So you just want to make sure that you have your map set up so it can't accidentally put a coin somewhere where there is no way for the player to get it. That's kind of, I made this like this. There's no spots where the player can't get to inside of a wall. Okay, so now over back in the player tab, after we change the player's position, now we need to see if the player ran over a coin. So remember that mget where we check the map to see if something's there? So we're going to make a variable called over coin equals mget wherever the player is. And we're going to see, is that equal to 18? So what this does, Shanna, if you don't have the code to make the player move, that's okay. The video that I sent to all the parents will catch you up to that. So for now, just watch what we're doing and then follow the instructions in the video that I sent to all the parents. And I'll be making another video for today's lesson that you can also follow along. That way you won't have missed anything. So good job fixing that, Austin. So we're going to make a variable called overCoin, and we're going to say, get the map tile where the player is and see if it's 18. And if it is 18, remember it's double equals, because that checks to see, is this the same as this? If that's true, overCoin will hold true. Otherwise, it'll probably store false, because you're usually not over a coin. Then we're going to say, if overCoin, then, and make sure you put an end. So if they're over a coin, this is what should happen. We should set that spot to grass again. In other words, that's what actually picks up the coin, is we set that spot to grass. Then we say level plus equals 1. That means add 1 to the level number. So that's actually what, makes it second level. Then we play sound effect 0. And sound effect 0, if you go to the sound editor, remember that's this one. Oh, whoops, my sound is off. There we go. Whoa, that's loud. I'm gonna put it in my headphones so it doesn't make a problem. There we go. Yeah, I know you can hear it, but it was really loud for me. Okay, good. So that's sound 0. So sound 0 is here. So back here in the player thing, after we set where the player is, we say, are they over a coin? Using mget, we say, what's at the map at that spot, and is it sprite 18? And then if they are over the coin, then set that spot on the map to grass again, add 1 to the level, play the coin sound effect, and then run the start level function. Okay, and if you remember, the start level function goes and starts the level over and makes a new coin. Okay, and puts the player back at the beginning. So now we're going to save it. Okay. I'm going to wait a sec so everybody can type this in, because I know what I'm typing, so I can type it really fast, but I'm going to let you finish typing it. Go ahead and finish. Don't worry. I'm going to get my next thing ready here. Brennan, the background of your sprites is black. Black is usually the transparent color. Okay, so I'm hoping everybody had that in there. Brenna, you'll have to email me so I can help you with that one. How do you undo what you do in the sound? You can hit Control-Z or Command-Z if you're on a Mac. If you get an error, then just see what line and what tab it says it is at. Like if it says on tab 0, line 5, then go to that line and make sure that you have everything there. Now remember, it's start_level. Make sure you have the underscore, and make sure you have parentheses after that, like parenthesis. Now, if I save this and I run it, you'll see if I walk over the coin, it's going to say, oh, you're over a coin, so set it to grass and then restart the level and play the sound. Ooh, that was easy. It was right next to me. So now it should just restart, and you should see the level number go up. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to escape and escape again, and we'll go back in here. Milo, when what is the error that you get? Oh, if yours doesn't make the coin sound, make sure that you have this after you add 1 to the level, you type SFX parenthesis 0 parenthesis and make sure that your coin sound is on sound 0. If you put it like over here, that would be sound 3. But if you have it here at sound 0, that's what sound will play. And if you don't have a sound at sound 0, go ahead and make one so that you have something that plays. Milo, what does the error say? The level text happens in the draw function over here. We print the level number at the bottom of the screen. If it says error, line 22 at tab 0, that's usually this line. And it usually means there's something wrong, like maybe you didn't put parentheses or something like that. Or maybe you had one parenthesis, or maybe you put a space instead of an underscore right here. Usually it's some kind of typing thing there. Jackson, if it says, Milo, if yours is saying that, usually, so Jackson, and let me answer Jackson's question first. So Jackson, make sure that you have on tab 1, make sure you close all the parentheses that you open. Like if you have a starting parenthesis here, close it, and then starting, closing, starting, closing, starting, closing. And because usually if you forget to put one of those, that can make it a problem. And then Milo, on yours, usually that error that you're getting usually means that you forgot to put end somewhere. So like if you have if, you have to make sure you have end. Whereas this end is for the function up here. So that's why I space these in, because then it's easy to see. Like I can see, oh, this if, and I can look down and see, oh, there's the end. And then this end, I know, oh, that must be way up there. You know, and this one, function end. You know, that way you make sure you have all the ends in there that you should have. If your coin isn't getting made, make sure that in here under the start level function, you put make coin after make player. And unclosed function, Jackson, can mean that you don't have an end somewhere where there should be an end. And that's an easy one to forget. Milo, also check in some of the other ones too, like in the make coin function, make sure that you have an end in there, all the ends there that you need. Like in this, on this whole page, there should be 3 ends. And Jackson, does it say what tab and what line? The other thing is make sure that you have the end parentheses at the beginnings of your function names too. I'm going to get rid of the thing in my background here because I think we're done with that. Okay. Line 9, tab 1. So in line 9, tab 1, line 9, if you were following exactly with me, would mean that there was a, make sure that you have your ending parenthesis here. So it should be start parenthesis, end parenthesis. And then also make sure there's an end for this one up here for make player too. Oh, you had 2 ends. Okay, that can happen too. Sometimes you have too many ends. That's also a problem. Sylvester, does it say where it is expected near end? Hartley, so one thing, so Hartley says his coin still sometimes goes through the wall when there's no space in the wall. So if that's happening for you, then Sylvester, go ahead, copy paste what code you have in that part, like your start level function. Copy paste that into your answer so I can see it. Hartley, for you, make sure that you have isGrass equals, and then put this mget parenthesis coin x coin y end parenthesis and then equals 16. Make sure you do the equals. Okay, that's really, really important. And it, because the double equals says compare this to this. But the equal sign says take the result of this and put it in here. So the equals is different than equals. Henry, I may do that. I'll have to see what kind of time I have, but we definitely will have to have homework for today just because I think we're not going to get to everything we need to before the end of class. But that's okay. Like I said, these kind of things that come up, I don't want you to feel frustrated by the fact that you're getting errors like this. That's okay. It is normal to sometimes have these kind of things, and figuring them out, you still end up learning about the code by figuring these out. And they end up being things that you'll start to look for as you code more. You'll be like, oh, I have to remember to do this. And yeah. Okay, so Jaden, if the coin is, oh, good. I'm glad you figured it out, Hartley. So Jaden, if the coin is just black, I think what you need to do is when you say mset coin x, coin y, and see how I have 18? So that, if you look at our sprites, 18 is where my coin is. So that's what I'm setting. So mset says, set the map at this x and this y to this sprite. So if your coin sprite was, say, like over here at sprite 24, then you would have to put 24 here. I have my sprite at 18. That's my coin sprite. So that's why I have mset coin x, coin y set to 18. Oh, okay. So Sylvester, make sure that start level. Now in your answer, it put capitals at the beginning of each line. I just want to make sure that that's not the case in your code. Sorry, everybody. We're just making sure everybody's questions get answered here. The coin gets drawn on the map. How do you draw the coin? Oh, I can put it on the screen here. This is what my coin looks like, but you can make your coin look whatever you look like, whatever you want it to look like. I've drawn coins a lot. You see the coins over here, like right over there. I spent a lot of time. I don't even want to admit how long I spent trying to make those coins. It was a long time. It was probably more time than we've spent all the time writing code here. I spent that amount of time just making those coins because I wanted them to look really good. So I have a lot of practice doing coins. So Sylvester, what I want you to do is I want you to email me afterward and I will help you figure that out. So at this point, here's what we should be at this point. Yes, Milo. So Milo said, if you press two keys at the same time, you can go through some cracks in the walls. That is true because if you have, let's say you have, oops, not a coin. Let's say you have a wall like that. If you press down and right at the same time, like boom, yes, you can go up and over at the same time. And that's pretty tricky. So if you can design, if you want to design your level for that, you can, but you don't have to. Okay, so right now, unfortunately, we're not going to have time today in this lesson, right this second, to add the monster that comes and chases you. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video just like I did yesterday that does this last step. Like yesterday, we didn't get time to make the player move. So I'm going to do another video today where it will show all the things that we've done today, not just this last step. It'll do all the things we've done today, plus how to add the monster and have it chase after you. And we're going to page 1. There we go. Here's page 1 where we have the if over the coin. So it will have all the steps, including how to have the monster show up and start chasing you. And we're going to make it so that it moves faster and faster every level. So every level, it'll move a little bit faster toward you. And so it's going to get harder and harder. And I can tell you the highest level that I was able to get up to was level 28 on the game, on the final game that we ended up creating. And I will send the video this afternoon. Sometimes it takes a few, it takes some time to upload, but you'll get it. You'll probably get the link like over dinner time. Oh, scroll up. Here we go. Is that good? Can you see, Logan? So anyway, so I'll send that video to everybody. So you will have all the rest of the code. And I can tell you the highest level I got up to is level 28. So if you can beat that, that's pretty good. And I hope you are able to beat it. Actually, I will try to see if we can, I will try to do that as like an extra bonus one. For now, I'm just going to make the one for today of how to make it so that, you know, the monster gets added in and gets faster. And, but yeah, that would be a good thing to be able to have more coins per level. The last thing I want to show you is, before we end off, yes, Milo, you can always try making games from the zine too. So the last thing I want to show you is, so everybody save, make sure you've saved, Control S, and hit escape. And then if you type, I'm going to clear the screen, I'm going to type CLS. If you type CLS, if you have like a bunch of stuff on the screen, like blah, 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 you can type CLS and hit enter, and it clears the screen. So this is really cool and really fun, okay? Logan, hold on one second. I will come back to it, but I just want to show everybody this. If you type Splore, S-P-L-O-R-E, and hit enter, it loads a thing called Splore, which allows you to explore. And if you go to featured, you can hit update, and it gives you a whole bunch of games that other people have made. Like the people who made Superhot made Superhot in Pico 8, and it's actually Superhot in Pico 8, believe it or not, if you've ever seen that. And there's lots of games in here, and you can search through them, and they're a lot of fun. And I want to show you something though, because some of these are pretty neat. Like if you have, some of these are really complex, and people have spent like many hours working on these games. So if it's like, if it seems like, whoa, that is, how could I possibly do that? Well, just understand, a lot of people spend a lot of time on these. So let's say I press this one and I do run cart, and it loads it up, and you can see, oh, look at that, it's cool. And we can keep going. We can go through. You're Santa's little helper, and he needs you to help deliver some packages, and you're the Santa now. Go to the coral caves, and I'm sure you'll figure it out. And then this is it's a cute little game. You're a fish, and you can, you know, swim around, and you have to find these cool gems. And anyway, this is a pretty neat game. You can talk to people. Oh, what? Are you Santa now? I'm so jelly. Of course, this is a jellyfish. But now, if you hit escape, and then hit exit, and then hit escape again, and escape again, this is all the code they used to make this game. Now, obviously, I don't expect you to understand all this code. I don't understand all this code. But you can see it. And if you go, say, to the map editor, whoa, that looks like crazy. So they must be doing some really crazy stuff. I don't know how they put this game together. But you can see other things like, here's the sounds they used. And you can see the music they made. Okay, and then you can go back to Splore and explore more games and see other games that people have done. And some of these are really cool. Like this is a winter golf game. that was made a couple years ago. And it's pretty cool. Actually, I think this one was made this year, I think. And so you have to like aim this thing, and then you fire it, and then it makes it like a snowball, and you're trying to get all the snowflakes and get it into, yeah, look at that, 2 shots. Okay, so just wanted you to see that because that's a great way to see lots of Pico 8 stuff. Okay, and so I'll send everybody a video on how we're going to add our monsters to the end of the game, and make them move faster and faster after every level. And Ashi, I'll try to put something in there to make it so it shows, you know, how can you add more coins and that kind of thing as like a bonus extra video. But I won't have time to do that this afternoon. This afternoon, I'll just get the one done for homework for today. Okay, so thank you everyone so much. You all did fantastic. I know this was a lot of coding and a lot of work, and but I'm very excited that we got through so much, and I can't wait to show you more. We are going to do this class again in a couple weeks, and it should be a lot of fun. And then also, I mentioned before, I'm going to be doing a video game camp in the summer for high school students, and a 3D modeling camp, and we're going to be able to 3D print the things that we 3D model, and you can keep the computer that you work on for the video games, and you get to keep the 3D prints that you do for the 3D modeling camp. Should be pretty cool. Like Shanna asked what the ages are for that, and I'm not sure, so you'd have to ask the school. But thank you everybody for joining me, and look for the email that has the homework assignment. And as you keep playing with this stuff, and as you keep learning more, you're totally welcome to email me if you have questions, or you need help on something, or you just want to, you know, you need help figuring something out, or something doesn't make sense. I'm going to put my email address up here. If you you can email me anytime, and I will be happy to help. All right, everybody, thanks. And Shanna, I'm sorry, I don't know that question either. But also enjoy Pico 8. Have a great time with it. It's a lot of fun to play with. And if you want to share with me things that you make, I would love to see them. All right. Bye, everybody.